So can you tell me about how you kind of found yourself involved in this project?
Sure. A producer named John Ricard had been developing it. He saw San Andreas and had worked with the New Line Warner Brothers team before, and he brought it to Beau Flynn, the producer, Dwayne Johnson, and myself at the same time, and asked us, what do you guys think of making the game Rampage into a movie? And I instantly was like, what's Dwayne think about making the game Rampage into a movie? And turns out that he was a super fan. Like, he loved the game. I played the game. There was an arcade. I'm old enough that there was an arcade in my small town where I grew up. And so it was NBA Jam and Rampage. And those were the games I kind of cycled through. And they brought it to me. And the thing that, was obvious was if you're going to adapt this, that there were things that I needed to give the audience for fans of the game, which is the three creatures, obviously. The fun tone. The game is basically these three creatures destroying a city. So I had to build a plot that would get you there so you could destroy a city. And then for like super fans, there was things like the woman in the red dress, which I also built in. So there's Easter eggs in the movie for fans. But ultimately, the thing that kind of like attracted me the most, besides Dwayne wanting to do it and a chance to reteam with the same group that did San Andreas, was there was a lot of creative freedom. There was a lot of plot that needed to be built. There was a lot of opportunity to do set pieces that were exciting for me. I was really excited to do a movie about trust and friendship, which is the main theme of the movie, and an opportunity to do motion capture, which I'd never done before. So bringing George to life was a whole thing I'd just never really done.
It's with Terry Notary, isn't it?
Terry Notary trained Jason Lyles.
Ah, so how was that? What was the kind of on-set rapport with all the cast, and you got this man dressed as
Terry was rarely on set. So Terry and Jason trained for like a year, just getting the movements down and getting in touch with his inner gorilla.
Yeah, I can imagine what it's like. But
I have no idea what that's like. But the first time I ever sat down with Terry, he said, I was saying, so like, what do you mean to like be a gorilla? And he became a gorilla in my office and like charged me. And I was like, got it? This is awkward. Like, yeah, okay, I'm scared of you. Like, and he then went off with Jason, and they spent like 9 or 10 months together training. And then I worked with Jason in sort of a real rehearsal kind of way.
Yeah.
Getting through all the scenes and talking about the scenes and what they were really about and who George really was. And, I explained to Jason, George is like Dwayne. He's the equivalent to Dwayne. He's the alpha. He walks into a room and he knows he's the alpha, so he rarely has to like flex because he's the biggest guy in the room. So he's actually like really disarming and youthful and funny and young and a lot of the things that Dwayne is.
Yeah.
And it was great to see what Jason brought to the table, because once we started going through the rehearsals and kind of getting him to understand who I thought George was as a character. Then what you see in this movie is every time you see George, those eyes, those facial movements, that's Jason.
Yeah, it's really disarming. It was almost human.
It is. Well, because 50% of it is. It's literally Jason's face. Like, we recorded it. So Weta Digital, Peter Jackson's company, came on, and so they're top notch. They did all Planet of the Apes and Lord of the Rings and Hobbits. And so basically what we did is we recorded all of Jason's movements. Even when he's Big George, we did it like in a special stage. And even when Dwayne was talking to Big George, we would put Jason up in a scissor lift and be where his face was, so they could act opposite each other. And then we recorded every single facial movement, every single body movement, and then had Jason go through it, which is where I think a lot of the success of bringing George to life really comes from.
There's a real relationship between the two of them, and it's to the point where, I won't lie, I almost welled up at the end. And
mission accomplished.
Something I didn't expect, and there's a really brilliant central relationship. And one final question: is there any hope to do a sequel to this? Because you've got a built-in world, and there's so much you can go with it. Is there?
I'm very open to it because there's as you're making a movie, a lot of the ideas come to where you could go with this and what you could do. For me, every single thing I do, I'm just trying to do something bigger and better and different and give the audience a unique experience and the reason to go to those theaters. Because for me, filmmaking is about the experience of going to a theater and seeing it on a big screen with the sound and all that. I have a big television, but it doesn't compare to IMAX.
It's not the same Netflix. It's all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same. And so, so I'm definitely open to it, and I've been thinking about what I would do. So yeah, it could be fun.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, man.